We're doing this tonight. Bosa probably wants to start a fight. We're so glad this is right. Hey, Brandon, come on. We love LA and AZ, but you're not there for Purdy. But now it's time to leave for a bad QB room. Shanny just couldn't take no more of BA's lies. We're so glad to see you out that door, Brandon. Bye, 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 bye. Some teams want to be a fool for you. You're just another player in a system that rules. You may hate Lynch, but it ain't no lie, Brandon. Bye, 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 bye. You just had to make it tough. The Niners would have told you that they had enough. May sound crazy, but it ain't no lie, Brandon. Bye, bye, bye. What's up, Smitty? Get the intro going.
Wow, that was the best intro we've had ever for sure. Welcome to the Dynasty BS show. Today is August 6th, and you can call me Logan. You can call him Wade
Wade Phillips,
Wilson.
baby.
There you go. There we go. Sorry, y'all. Just that was great. That was standing ovation. Goodness, I love that.
I
Anyways,
love it.
we're gonna be talking training camp news, of course. We have injuries, we have depth charts, and we at the end we'll be discussing the latest film, Deadpool and Wolverine. So, how are you doing, Brian? How's that?
I'm doing fantastic. I had to get that intro. I've been waiting to do that. I'm so glad Brandon Aiyuk is going to get out of the NFC West, baby. It is going to be epic because you know whose defense has got a lot better once his trade's done? LA and Arizona, baby. Bye bye, Brandon. But you know what, Smitty? Before we get anything, let's just talk about that after the intro. BA is going to get traded as long as he can negotiate the right contract that he wants. So, talk to me a
hmm
little bit here. We've got Pittsburgh was out last night. They're back in. Browns are in. New England's in. What is going on here? Is this a good move for Brandon? Talk to me about how the 49ers blew it. Just let it rip, man.
So every single time it is time for, every time they have to pay one of their big producing players, they wait till the absolute last minute to do it. And Brandon, he wasn't taking it. I mean, he wasn't having it. It really, if you looked at how they extended it for Bosa, like just whew, all right. If you look at how they took a long time to pay Bosa during his year, he didn't really come back like the most excited. He didn't come out the best. You can tell that that tumultuous offseason really affected him mentally. Same thing with Debo. I mean, we have fans literally telling him that he should kill himself and his mother should die as well. Like that's super
Are you
dark.
serious?
So to tell Debo Samuel, I cannot stand Debo, and I would never say such a thing about him or his mother. But the fans were pissed that he was holding out. And I mean, come on, if you're on a team and you're exceeding expectations, you deserve to be paid. And now Brandon Ayuk said, "Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and wait around like those guys did. I'm done. I'm sorry, I'm done. I can't stand this. I can't stand this." And I honestly salute the guy for it. Now, is it the best move for Brandon? I personally do think so because he really is just a great cog in a phenomenal system. This will give him the chance to do like the Devontae Adams thing, where he can just go somewhere else and just be the guy, and that's fantastic for his ego. This is terrible for the Niners. I mean, well, they don't have to spend that money. They could put money elsewhere, like they could pay Trent Williams, who's also not out there performing. He needs to get paid as well. So,
Oh,
I,
I'm paying Trent over BA all day long. But here's
I
the thing.
mean, yeah, I would too, especially if you draft someone like Ricky Pearson in the first round. So, I mean, he's going to be a serious missing piece, and I think the team could really I don't know if this is wishful thinking, but I really do think the team could fall apart without him. So this is just bad all around, but I just hope he gets the money he deserves.
So
Now
think
we
about this.
did get some. Oh, sorry, what are you saying?
Let's just talk John Lynch for a second, okay? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought you were done. But this is a man that has gone to two Super Bowls as a GM. But we somehow have forgotten how lucky they fell into Brock Purdy, how they gave away their future to draft a quarterback that's played like 27 snaps. Um, he he misjudged the wide receiver market so much and was playing behind the game all for the last 2 months. If he would have just paid him $29 million 2 months ago, Brandon probably takes that contract. But bro,
100%.
the DJ Moore, man, the signing, the contract extension when DJ Moore got friggin' paid had to have made BA's head explode, dude. Because if you're gonna pay Waddle, if you're gonna pay Smith, if you're gonna pay DJ Moore, why aren't you? Why isn't Brandon Ayuk not getting paid? So I think John Lynch got lucky, and I just think he's not running the franchise too good the last couple of years, even though they've been to the Super Bowl because of a rookie quarterback. Sorry, a mystery relevant last in the draft quarterback. So it's going to be interesting, but our defense has got better. I'm happy to see him leave the West, but do you think he's better off with Deshaun Watson, Drake May, or let's just say the QB controversy going on that we'll talk about later in Pittsburgh?
Well, before we get into it, Adam Schefter just released a tweet saying, after inquiring about Brandon Ayuk, blah, blah. After inquiring about Brandon Ayuk's availability, the Patriots have decided not to explore any further trade possibilities with the 49ers regarding the standout wide receiver. The Patriots are excited about their young receivers and want to focus on them. First off, I mean, this is some pretty significant self-awareness. Like when I read that at first, I instantly thought, "Oh my God, they kind of are doing like a bootleg version of the Packers, right? Like they got this whole young crew, this whole fresh young crew, young fresh quarterback, and they just want them to grow together." I absolutely love that. I mean, so yeah, Patriots are out of here. They're out of the picture. So now it's looking like what Browns in Pittsburgh. Ah, man. Browns, this will definitely keep them contending. I think that is the best place for him, just if he wants to ring still.
But are the Browns better with Amari Cooper or are they better with Brandon Ayuk? Because it sounds like if they do get Ayuk, Cooper's probably going to be going to San Francisco.
That's not bad, dude. I mean, I will say this: Ayuk extends their Super Bowl window. Cooper, I don't
Correct.
think so. Yeah,
Correct. But they got a contract problem with Deshaun Watson,
oh my
and Brandon
gosh.
Ayuk is not going to sign for under $30 million. He's just not.
Yeah, I'm
So you
actually
get rid of a contract with
surprised.
Amari that's already expensive for a more expensive one. I get you get youth, but I'm telling you, I am so sick of everyone talking about Brock Purdy being a system quarterback, but nobody wants to talk about anyone else on the team being part of a system. And everybody else is so damn good except for Brock Purdy because he's in the system. Brandon Ayuk plays in that system very well. Debo plays in that system well. Kittle plays in that system well. CMC is the best running back to ever play in that system. So why is Brandon Ayuk not a system wide receiver? Is he a top 10 wide receiver? Because I've been saying he's not for a very long time.
No, but he truly can be in that system, like you said.
Yeah. I
Outside
don't
the
know.
system, I don't know, but I want to see him try it. Honestly, I want to see him try to be a top 10. I think it's in him, honestly, but that system is powerful and it gets into the Super Bowl every 3 years. Not anymore though.
Yeah, right. How vicious could Amari Cooper be in that system?
Oh God, I mean, dude, that might be like sneaky good. Like that might be like as clever as it was when they required the CMC. That might bring them right back up, dude. Honestly, Mark Cooper's he's no slouch. I mean, I've I'll never forget that just bomb game he had during the playoffs, the fantasy playoffs. That was sorry, it's just nightmares still. I'm still thinking about it, still shaking. He really like turned up like nearly 50 points that
It was a
game.
lot, man. It was a lot. So we'll see next
Cool.
time on this pod. We'll be breaking it down because hopefully he'll be traded by then. Because I don't see a world that he can actually, if he can't get a contract negotiated with the other teams, that he goes and plays for the Niners. Because I think it was, I believe it was Christian McCaffrey today that referred to him as a former teammate. It was either him or it was CMC or Debo that did it. I think it was CMC. And those are leaders amongst men in the locker room. You ain't going back to the locker room, bro. You've killed it. And think about this. Debo is a vet. CMC is a vet. There's some vets out there that are like, man, you might have just messed with my Super Bowl window. But we'll see. That Amari
It,
Cooper is a sneaky trade. It's very similar to that Devonte Adams thing when I was like, man, why don't you go get Devonte Adams? But you put, possibly a Hall of Fame wide receiver, which Amari Cooper might be. He's got the numbers. It depends how long he plays. But we'll see. Before we start breaking down some camp news here, Smitty, let's talk about what we're looking forward to tonight. It is August 6th,
oh,
and we have Hard Knocks Chicago Bears, baby. I have never been more pumped for a Hard Knocks in my life than I am for this one. How are you feeling? What are you looking
really?
forward to watching?
Dude, really? I mean, I gotta be honest. I was stupid hyped for the Jets last year, and that one delivered. This one, I say my number one thing is, yay, we're finally done with the Giants, even though they covered one of my favorite parts of the season. We're done with that team. We're done seeing how stupid, terrible, and poor of an organization that is. Now, the question is this organization just as goofy? Probably not, but you know what I'm actually excited for? I'm excited to see Keenan Allen. He's been one of my favorites. He's been one of my favorite Chargers, and I just want to see his personality absolutely shine. I bet he's the star of the show. Oh, and we can't forget about Caleb Williams, right? The Bears.
Dude, Hard Knocks is all about personalities. That's what I love. You get to know players a little bit more. But we just have been talking about rookies, rookies, rookies for the last 4 months, Smitty, on this podcast. And now we get to see Rome and we get to see Caleb's personality shine. I mean, this is going to be epic. We're going to get to understand the running back room better, I think, through Hard
Mm,
Knocks.
okay,
Um, we're going to see what Keenan Allen's got, but I'm pumped. This team is on an epic rise right now, and they just nailed the perfect team. I don't want to see any other team in Hard Knocks other than this one. And
really?
I
Wow.
I did. I loved last year's Hard Knocks. Don't get me wrong. We got to see G Willie in action. But you know what it is? It's not about having the dude we already know who he is. He's weird. He's the best quarterback ever. He's got a man bun. Like we don't have to think about that. We get to know brand new players, and I'm pumped. And this defense, I can't wait to hear them talk about this defense in Hard Knocks because Chicago Bears defense is sneaky tough, dude.
Ooh, okay. Hey, man, I think you may have done a better job um, hyping this show up than their own trailers did. So, wow, I'm psyched for the night.
I think I did because I forgot it was even Chicago Bears after after the Giants, and I saw the commercial. I was like, "Sweet, let's roll!" But it's going to be fun. The hype's going to get going on Rome big time. I'm planning on trading him in a league to somebody that wants him right after Hard Knocks. To be honest with you, I'm going to try to capitalize on that.
Good move.
All right, man. So let's get into this. So we got training camp injuries. Let's talk a little bit about this. Let's jump back on the 49ers here.
Mm,
CMC out 2 weeks minimum with a calf injury. Elijah Mitchell, Isaac Garriendo, both pulled their hamstrings and will miss the start. We've had Mason, who was already getting hyped with second string before this happened. What's the running back room looks like? Are you adding Mason? Because I picked him up on a lot of waiver wires even before this news hit. But dude, the 49ers are falling apart here, dude. They're absolutely falling apart.
I'm sorry. Um, they really are. Dude, nah, when it comes to Mason, it's been a hard sell for me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna have to see him ball out in the preseason.
Dude, so I read something. I think it was Sleeper, it was an article or something, and it was about Jordan Mason's dad bought him a jugs machine, and
Oh, what?
bought him a jugs machine to sit there and catch balls
Yeah,
like
to catch
receivers
those
do.
balls. Really,
And he
him?
did that because he wants to develop the skills that CMC has as a pass catcher. This dude's been out there catching like 500, 1,000 footballs a day. Like this dude put in some work this offseason. And I think it immediately showed for these beat writers that are talking about him running with the seconds.
I had no idea. Okay, wow, that. Oh man, I'm never thought I'd say this, but I'm excited to see this 49ers preseason game. Wow. Okay, and then they also signed Matt Breida. I don't know what that means. I guess it's a depth thing at this point. I don't know. That's
They
kind of
did that. They did
scary.
that today, right?
Yeah, yeah, they did that very, very recently. So, I don't know. I'm excited to
Someone's going on the pup. Someone's going on the pup for sure.
Oh, dude, I hope it's CMC. I'm joking. I'm joking, guys.
Oh,
I'm joking.
do that. Don't you hate that golden god, even though he plays for the 49ers, man? Don't you jinx that. He's like the best fantasy football running back ever. Ever.
Oh, when
Him and
he's healthy.
LaDainian Tomlinson. Oh man, that season LaDainian had when he broke the touchdown record. Oh, that was fun. Those were the good old days where running backs really mattered, dude.
Yeah, that's
Ricky
so true.
Pearsall
Oh,
tweaked
right.
his shoulder. He's been kind of banged up a lot of this training camp. And, I want to bring up another point that Ricky's on here because what are we doing with this Brandon Ayuk trade in Dynasty World right now? Because Kyle Shanahan has never trusted his rookie wide receivers. And do you remember
Ooh,
when Brandon Ayuk was in the doghouse? Like, you
that's
remember
so
that big
true.
thing?
That's true, dude.
What does this
Okay, I
mean?
mean, that's a great point. That's so true. Despite how talented they are, he just can't with them. And I get it. And you know what? Honestly, now that I think about his injury, that tells me that that defense is playing really tough. Like that's still going to be a scary defense. So good for them. Dude, does this mean all wheels up for Debo?
All wheels go. There's a running for my guy and Debo in there right now, or my dudes. Sorry, ballers. I'm not stealing your my guys. We get our my dudes, the dudes. But I'm pumped, man. I look at there's 110 targets from last year that have been vacated from the greatest system on turf because Brock Purdy's a system quarterback. So Debo, I'm all about it, man. I'm going to get Debo. I'm going to get Kittle. Those are the two that I want in this offense.
Whoa, we
Um,
might see some consistency from Kittle, dude. Whoa, that's huge. Actually, I didn't even think about this. I didn't even think about this. That is a consistent Kittle might be like TE3 to
bro,
1. TE3 to
this is
1.
playbook 101, Smitty, is when you have an amazing offense that lose a player, you immediately attack, dude. No matter what could end up happening, but the Rams, the Dolphins, the Chiefs, when they get 120 targets vacated, go get somebody on the damn offense. And I bought Debo today, baby, in a league that I am friggin' going for it, and I am so pumped.
Dude,
So,
I might
Smitty,
actually cry if you don't win. Like and the thing is, I'm in the league too, and I'm going to compete as well. But like, if you don't win because your team is honestly by far the scariest, and it seems like it'll be the scariest for the longest amount of time. So you might actually like have a true dynasty team. Like, ah man, if it ain't year one, it's for sure year two with this team.
I
If it
hope
ain't
it's
year
this
two,
year.
it's for sure we're year three. But this one, ooh, it's gonna be scary, dude.
I hope so. And just listeners out there, I mean, I'll read the trade off for you here. Let me pull it up. It was
Ooh, trade
start
talk.
10,
Yo, miss it.
point 0.5 tight end premium. Keep that in
Mhm.
mind. I got Debo and the absolute stud tight end one for the Baltimore Ravens, Isaiah Likely. And I
It's
gave
me.
up 2025 first, or no, it was a good team, so it'd be mid to late. I gave up the guaranteed 201, and I gave up 2/3 and Daniel Billinger, which I would have ended up dropping anyway because I over roster limits. But that's what it took for me to go get another hammer. And Smitty, why I did this trade, dude, is I have 4.21 Xavier Worthy on the team. I've
Hmm.
got the serial killer and BT Jr., Marvin Harrison, and Roma Doomsday. And I need someone to bridge minimum 6 to 10 games before these rookies really get going
You
because
found the
Debo's going
right
to
guy.
miss some games next year.
You
No
found the
doubt
right
about
guy.
it.
Because here's the truth. With Debo's workload being like just like helplessly increased, that man's gonna fall apart. As we saw in a receiver, he plays hard, and people want to hit him hard too, which I love, by the way. But people want to hit him hard too. So it's that bridge was. I think you named the perfect amount of time to rely on him because once he falls, your rookies are gonna rise. I mean, Jesus. I actually hate that I'm in this league with you. You're gonna smack me, dude. You're gonna smack.
I hope so. Just so our listeners know, I'm just going to read my QBs and my wide receivers on this squad because I got in a 4 point passing touchdown. I got Anthony Richardson, Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson. I'm backing that up now with Justin Jefferson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Drake London, Jaden Reed, Debo Samuel, BT Jr., Roma Doomsday, Xavier Worthy. And I've got now Dalton Schultz and Isaiah Likely in my tight end spot, rocking out James Conner and Jonathan Taylor with a boatload of running backs. And I'm ready to rock and roll. So I'm pumped about that. But I would make that advice. Go just plant your flag and get somebody. Just get somebody. Overpay if you have to.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, overpaying, it does suck because like, oh no, I lost the trade and they're gonna make fun of me for a good week or two. But when the season starts, who's laughing now? You know?
Have you ever seen me on a team doing FDM picks? Ever?
Never, never. And it's honestly, it's fire, bro. I love it. It's so attractive. Keep doing it. Oh yes,
That's
because he
what
has like
liquidity's
this guy has
for.
a crazy amount. He has like a treasure chest of liquidity. It's actually it's the thing of legends, and to see him actually use these picks to buy dogs like Debo, it's what it's for. It's really what it's for. Man, this pod, I swear, we learn way too much, y'all. We learn way too much.
I built this team on 6 first round draft picks I traded this offseason. 6 first rounders, dude. And I think I got rid of T. Higgins on the squad.
Upgraded, if
Dude,
you ask me.
I know it's fire. All right, man. Let's get off of my bragging. Sorry about that. I'm pumped, man. Go get you some Debo in life, and you'll be this happy right now. Trust me. All right, so let's jump on to DeAndre Hopkins. Injury out 4 to 6 weeks. Alarm bells are ringing.
Yeah, and a lot of people are instantly gonna think, okay, is this great for Calvin Ridley? And truth be told, it should be. It should be, right? But I'm a little worried about Levis, and it sucks because Will Levis was one of those QB2s that I had no worries about. I'm like, this man, he wants to keep his job. He wants to stay here in Tennessee. He wants to build that, that rapport with Hopkins, which, dang, that's on pause. I'm actually really nervous. Like, he might just be the type of guy that to really truly just rely on his legs. I mean, thank God they drafted an O lineman in the first round because if they didn't have that, it'd be an ugly team. And thank God they have two receiving backs. I mean, maybe one of those backs is like one of the best benefactors of this. Maybe.
I think so. And I'm out, dude. Like I'm out. I talked on our manifesto about I don't want to get vet receivers that they say that are injured through training camp that say, "Oh, they'll be ready by week 1 or week 2." This is an all-year gig. I hope for D Hop. It's
Ooh.
not. He's one of my favorite players. I am just out. I'm not buying the sleeper about Traylon Burks today. I'm not buying any of that. And you're right, Smitty. I was so comfortable in a super flex, start 11, not quite start 10, but start 11 for sure or more with Will Levis being my QB2. I can't do it now. Like, I mean, I might want to go get Bryce Young instead of that. And I really wanted Will Levis over Bryce earlier. So that's going to be interesting. But we'll get into the backs in just a second. But does anybody step up? Because who else we got on this team? We got Tyler Boyd, right?
Yeah, Tyler,
We've
but
got
who I am. Okay, look, if someone is willing to give him up for a third, holler at my third. I want to give it a shot. I just want to see what. I mean, because we've seen Tyler Boyd like kind of step up with Jake Browning, and Jake Browning, I mean, man, if you, I would like, okay, everyone do this for homework. Look at what Jake Browning did last year, and look at what Will Levis did last year. If you think what Will Levis did compared to Jake Browning is better, consider buying Tyler Boyd.
Dude, that actually is great actionable advice. I'm in. I might buy him on my team because you should be able to get him dirt cheap. And maybe he becomes the new Zay Jones. Maybe he becomes a new spot starter for you too.
And
Because
that would be a okay with me. Like just a flex if you needed it. Like your dog's on a bye week. Boyd, hey, what's up? Hey, but then then you got people like you who have like your reserve is like BTJ because you're starting all these monsters. But man, I just want
so
to see.
what does this mean for Calvin Ridley? I mean, you know me. I was already out on Calvin.
Yeah, I, this should be a top 24 year for him, just because of the situation with targets, and we're damn sure not like expecting Terrell Burks to be anything. So I don't know. Top 24 at 24 is the goal. I don't know. He might just be at 30. I don't know, man. I want someone to convince me on Calvin Ridley. If someone can convince me on Calvin Ridley, then the situation makes sense. So I'd consider it. But right now, it's just not looking good to me.
I just think you need to sit down. I think you need to have a yoga session, a meditation session, and you
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
need to let this number come to you. Is Will Levis going to average more than 25 throws a game? Like that's a thing, 25 or 30 throws.
Uh-huh.
If you think he's going to get 30 attempts a game, you have to buy somebody out there. If you think it's going to be under 25 and they're going to be a run heavy, or you think a lot of those are going to go to the running back, I'm out on all receivers. And that's just got to find it within yourself and make your call. I'm just moving on. This is not an offense that's going to be explosive enough for me to invest in
I
unless
get
it's
that.
a third or fourth rounder for Boyd.
Yeah, yeah. That's how we feel about it.
All right. Your
Unfortunately.
boy, your boy. I love how you say it. I want to hear it come from your mouth. Say it.
Oh man, it's such sad news though. We got Makaya Puka Nakua, y'all. He is out with a knee injury and is considered week to week. Now we got a little bit more news on that not too long ago, and they say um they expect him to be ready for week one of the normal season. But like you just said, like not even 10 minutes ago, when you got a guy, well, you said that about vets, but you said when you got a guy and they're just saying maybe week one, just temper expectations. So Puka, get strong, dude, because oh, that's a big L, man. He is such a dope target for Stafford.
So you said something. Ready by week one. And it's a Burska something injury. It's what does he say
Yeah,
right here? It's just
yeah,
a little
yeah.
bursa sack. It's a bursa sack. Okay. So is the way he plays football not a concern where he might be available for week one because he's not a fast wide receiver. He's a yak machine on slants, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So, and great question. Yeah, it is a little concerning the way he plays. Oh man.
This makes me want to have Cooper Cup more.
Yeah, Cooper Cup. Oh my God. And you know what? I'm so happy that Sleeper really just hyped up Cooper Cup last year or last week, saying that he is the guy that the offense is going to go through. Is going to be 9 and 9 once again. Oh baby! But I'm kind of looking at Demarcus Robinson the same way I was talking about Boyd. Like that might be a decent little. That might be a decent little start. And then if this tight end situation can figure itself out, I probably would rather have Demarcus Robinson. So I don't know. Try to get Demarcus Robinson cheap. He might be on the waiver wire. Honestly,
Yeah,
might be.
I think Demarcus Robinson, if you listen to the pros and the pro takes, he's a very hot take amongst a lot of people. And I'll be honest with you, I just forget about him. Like I always just
It's
forget
so
about
easy
him.
to, man. It's so easy to. But then you think about how the second half of the Rams season went, and it's like, oh my goodness, this guy was actually reliable, and he may have even like won you some weeks in fantasy if you played him. So yeah, he's there, and he's having a pretty good camp from what I'm hearing. So consider it.
Yeah, go see what you can get him for. But I would say in the fantasy world that this injury has no consideration of his value of what he's worth in a dynasty purpose.
Oh yeah, if there's a dip, I'd buy. If there's a dip, I don't know
Huh?
if there is a real one, but if there's a dip, try it.
I don't think so. I would just go try by cup. So, all right, Roman Wilson, ankle injury, unsure of timeline. He was walking in a boot. This podcast, we were talking about Calvin Austin a little bit during the offseason, and we just kept saying, go get Calvin Austin, pick him up on the waivers, throw a ridiculous fourth or fifth rounder. But can Calvin Austin be the two? I mean, Roman Wilson is just a rookie. He's coming from an offense that was not high volume, so he didn't have a lot of production, but his film says that, it can go to the NFL. But is could it be Austin? I'd love it because you can get this dude for so cheap.
Hey, I think it's kind of a little wide open for him at this point. Jesus, it would be nice to see. Do you think we'll see any Austin in the play in the preseason? Do you think he's above that?
No. If he is, I'm going to be through the roof excited.
Oh, I know.
I'm going to be pumped. But actually, so sleeper the last couple of days, there's a lot of teams that are starting their starters week one, and it looks like it's going to be week one, and then it's going to be sit him the rest of the preseason. But I'm pumped. Jordan Love's going to be playing. Caleb Williams is going to be playing. Like
Jaden
so, studs.
Daniels.
They're CJ Stroud in the first offense is playing. Like I'm getting stoked. All right, so here's the big one. To me, this is the big one. I don't know. CMC was probably the big one, but Justin Herbert has plantar fascia. I think that's how you pronounce it. held out of practice for 2 weeks, should be ready by week one. This is a team that has rookie wide receivers or vets that got rid of them all. They have a new coach that wants to run the football. Um, there is nothing that makes me want to invest in this offense if I want to win right now. This is an offense I'm avoiding in redraft. Um, you can get some running backs cheap; they're going to get volume. But what do you say you about Justin Herbert? And I think plantar fascia is just isn't that just turf toe?
I honestly don't know, but I will, dude. Honestly, all I want really is Kamani Vidal. I'm willing to wait on that kid. I just want him. That's just all I can think of. I mean, we got Lad McConkey, that boy Lad bad, but man, that's really unfortunate if we can't. I mean, okay, it should be ready by week one. God, I hope so. But if not, Easton Stick and Lad, oh God,
Puke.
that's not good TV, man.
Yeah,
A
so
wasted.
Lad's out there. What I love about Lad is he just looks like a dorky white boy, dude. Like, I mean, total dork. I mean, there's not too many like white boys that have truly gone out there and been absolute elite studs in the NFL. Like, I mean, they're there. Don't get me wrong. Cooper Cups of the world, Wes Welkers. Like, you get those dudes every once in a while. But can this guy make the step? Can he do it? Can he do it?
I say yes. I'm here for it. Just when Herbert's healthy.
I know, but I'm redrafting. I'm out. I would say you might be able to take advantage of this and go get yourself some Justin Herbert. And this might be a really good idea for a team that probably is going to rebuild. Go get yourself Justin Herbert and do whatever you need to do. I mean, so Brock Purdy versus Justin Herbert right now. Talk to me on that one.
I would. Ooh, you're making me say it. I'd much rather have Brock. Like much rather. Even despite the fact that Aiyuk is going to leave, I still think he is in a fantastic system. And I cannot
I
say
hate you.
I can't say the Charger system is anything like fantastic. So yeah, I mean, and then plus young. The kid's young. He hasn't got his big boy check yet. I would much rather have Purdy. Like by a long shot.
You are just going to make me go on a system rant. I hate you brought system up. The hair on the back of my neck stands up because here's the deal. He is going to be in this system the next 10 years. It doesn't matter. He's not going anywhere. They are
You,
absolutely paying him, and it's going to be a big, big boy contract. So, okay, he's a system quarterback. Sweet. Put him on my roster. I much prefer him over Justin Herbert. I don't even think that's a question, but you might be able to buy Brock because of the news of Aiyuk leaving because people think he's a
oh,
system quarterback. But I think
when
Justin Herbert's a target. I don't think he'll be as cheap as he is now, 6 months from now, 12 months from now, 18 months from now. So I think he's got a lot of value. And I've seen some big boy trades in the offseason for Justin Herbert. I mean, like two, three, four first rounders, and a mix of players in there, but like some big boy trades go down for Justin Herbert. And I
I
didn't understand those at all. I'd rather a rookie quarterback right now.
100%. Oh,
Yep.
I did not know that. Oh, wow.
All right,
Oh,
let's talk some depth chart chaos. This one's
yes.
fun. I can't wait to talk about this depth chart crap. By the way, let's start this segment by saying the opening depth chart is absolute just crap. It does not matter. They just throw things out there. This doesn't even matter. They haven't seen no preseason, 2 weeks of this is crap. But Sam Darnold is listed as the Vikings QB1. So as we talk about the crap of these depth charts, is this a real one? Because I've actually been calling this for a very long time, and I want to believe this because of it. But is he actually going to be the starter?
You know what's weird? And this is a recent thing too. Um, JJ McCarthy hype videos. I mean, I don't know what it is. I've seen a lot of Sam Darnold and JJ, which pretty much told me that yeah, he's gonna be the Vikings QB1. But now I'm starting to see like now I'm finally seeing JJ throw out there, and it's not. I'm not even mad at it. Like if I'm being honest, I actually may have disrespected JJ McCarthy. I think I'm kind of into the idea of buying him, especially with this news. So they have a short bye week. I think they have a bye week coming up pretty soon. Now, right now, if you do not have JJ, I think now is the time, or JJ McCarthy, rather. I think now's the time to buy. This is probably the window.
So is Sam Darnold a system quarterback because he played
Dude,
for
you know what?
Shanahan?
You know what? That's funny. Sam Donald's a nothing. Like, he is just, he seems, I'm gonna say it. He is lucky to have Justin Jefferson as his wide receiver one. That is hyping him up way too high. I mean, goodness, I'd be a top quarterback if I had JJ. Maybe, maybe. Yeah, let me tone it down. No, I wouldn't. But Sam Darnold, I think he's being overhyped by these hype videos I've been watching. He's overhyped by JJ Jetta's his just absolute god tier talent. I don't really care about this. In fact, okay, on week one and week two, when we see Sam Darnold out there, it's gonna be garbage. It's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be frustrating, and JJ Jetta's owners are gonna be really pissed. That's
They're
just what I
both they're both going to get a half of football. I've heard, and it was either a quarter or a half uh, coming up for week one of preseason. But I think this is Sam Darnold's job to start the year. I mean, if you look at Michigan, look at JJ didn't throw the football that much, and think about a guy like Brock Purdy. And I hate that I keep bringing Brock Purdy up tonight, but the reason he transitioned to the NFL so well, he had so many reps in college. I mean, it was just he was a 4 year player and just throwing the ball the whole time. So he had all the reps. JJ hasn't had that. So what's wrong with him being a first round draft pick and sitting behind someone that's a vet? He hasn't been a good quarterback, but maybe he can throw the football, and if he shows he can, like, what if Sam Darnold goes out there and wins his first four games of the year? I mean, it's you got to run with that, and I don't think JJ gives him the chance of winning right now. I think Sam Darnold does at the beginning of the year, and I think you need to see how it works. I don't know. I want that so bad. My fantasy teams will be so happy.
I mean, we'll see. This is my issue with Sam Donald. I will forever think about 2023, Week 18, the Rams versus Niners. That was the year. I mean, that was the game where okay, they're both playoff bound, right? So they pretty much rest their starters, of course. And Sam Darnold was literally the starter for that team, and he looked terrible against our crap defense, like our crap secondary. I mean, not secondary, our crappy backups. Like, it was weird. Like, I he shouldn't be playing that bad. If he was playing that bad as like a backup in week 18, I don't know if I trust him with like actual week 1 starting abilities. It's a little, I don't know, that'll always scar me. But again, in training camp, he is tearing it up with JJ Jettas, so I'm just
Yeah,
gonna have to
I plan to have JJ on my taxi squad for most of my squads, especially if it's max PF.
really
Um,
like McCarthy is on your taxi.
he's going to be in most of my leagues that I have him because he's probably my fourth quarterback in most leagues.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah, or if he's my third, I'll just leave him on there. And if I need him in the buys, I need him. But I guarantee you, he's not anywhere startable for me the first 3 or 4 weeks. And I'm a JJ owner in a lot of leagues, so I would like Sam throwing the ball. I want to see what that looks like. But you know what? I think this will be determined after their first preseason game.
Hmm.
All right, this one's the one that's lighting up the world. We've made firm, stern comments about where we stand on this for all off season. We have Russell Wilson, Mr. Unlimited, is listed as the Steelers QB1 despite Justin Fields' success and hype at camp. Russell Wilson hasn't even played. He's been injured.
Right.
Why is he the starter?
It's a respect thing. It has to be. I think Tomlin just respects the career that Russell had. It's the only reason I can come up with, truthfully. It's the only reason I can come up with. I mean, because as much as I can't stand Fields, he is doing a great job at camp. So I think and I've been saying this for a minute. I mean, week six, there's no question about it. Fields will be out there, and I feel like it probably should be sooner, but we'll see how this Russell experience goes.
Yeah, I want to see Fields in some preseason games. And, I know Tomlinson's old school. He's old school. I get the respect. I get he brought him in to be a starter before they traded to him. They told him this, yada, yada, yada. But at some point, the athleticism on the field, you cannot not put that in the game. Like, I believe that this gets flipped by week one, and I'm okay if I'm wrong. I'm okay if I'm wrong.
Oh, damn.
So
Spicy.
Tomlinson in
Okay.
his little press conference the other day
Uh-huh.
just said that, and I know they said it's about Anthony Richardson too, but it's like they don't want to change them because their instincts are just so incredible on what they do. They just need to tone it in pretty much and just like realize to look at your second and third option, but if it's not there, then run instead of your first. I think it can be electric with him there, and especially with oh my gosh, how am I forgetting Arthur Smith as the offensive coordinator? Like, I think it can work. If Arthur Smith actually took Ryan Tannehill to an elite quarterback in fantasy football for at least one year, why can't
He
he do that with Justin
did.
Fields?
Wow, I completely forgot about that. I'm not gonna lie. Wow.
Oh, I remember when he was a thing. That was fun. He won me a championship as my QB2, and I'm like, how did I just do that?
Nice, dog. Nice.
All right, man. Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. I love it when teams do this. They're both listed as the QB1. Um, who is going to be the starter in here? I think we've really thought it was Gardner Minshew all off season. I've been watching a lot of like the insiders on NFL Network and NFL Live. There's a lot of people that are saying Pierce is old school and he liked what he saw when he took over from Aiden O'Connell. Who the hell is the starting quarterback? Because this is best ball heaven right here, if you ask me. You roll the dice, and if you get it right, it's amazing.
Dude, okay. So we can't really ignore the type of year Gardner Minshew had when he was backing up A-Rich on Indianapolis. It's tough to ignore because he really kept that team afloat. It was pretty sick to watch, and it really just made Steichen seem like coach of the year material. Now he's here in this team that could really use a quarterback, and we've seen some god awful games from AOC, god awful games. Also, we've seen some flashes of greatness. So it just seemed pretty obvious to me that Gardner Minshew's the starter, but I understand Pierce. He can't deny the fact that things did kind of turn around immediately when AOC took over. And I mean, Devontae Adams is smiling all of a sudden. That's huge. Like a man like that smiling, shaking his dreads. I don't see that often, dude. So, wow.
If
I'm
we
gonna
learned anything,
say
if
what?
we learned anything from wide receivers,
Right?
if I'm Pierce, I think I'd be a smart man. I'd get through the preseason. I'd walk up to Devontae Adams and I'd just say, "Who the hell do you want me to throw the football to? You pick." I mean, like that's exactly what I would do because Devontae Adams is going to control what Pierce's entire career is going to be with the Raiders as the head coach,
Golly, that's sick. I love that type of power for him.
right?
I just hope it works out. I just really hope it works out. Um,
Either that or Raiders. I'm putting this out of the universe again. I've talked about this before. Here's the deal. Get into the bidding on Brandon Aiyuk right now. The trade's not done. Send Devontae Adams to the 49ers. Dude, if that happens, the 49ers will win the Super Bowl.
it's
I'm,
not
I'm
even a push
telling you right
about it,
now.
dude. But what about your Devo stock? Like that's gonna. You know what? I don't think it'll hit it that much. I think they'll both do fine. Now
Yeah,
that I'm
why
really
not?
sitting here thinking about it, they'll both be fine. Wow, bro. You've been talking about this for a while, and I just thought it was funny, but now
It just makes perfect sense.
yeah,
It's
it
like
really does. It
it's
really
like the old Rams, the greatest turf on show. Like they would put up so many points. It just doesn't matter. Have both of them. I mean, can you imagine Devontae Adams, Debo, and CMC on the same field? Oh my goodness, what are
Dude,
you
you know
gonna
what?
do as a
For the
defense?
amount of crap we just gave them for how they mismanaged a lot of situations in the draft, they're some phenomenal traders. Like as in trading, like they know how to trade very well. So yeah, I'm never gonna hype up the Niners or speak positively about them ever again, but they know how to trade. They know how to trade. They know how to get trades done, and they're gonna make the whole league look stupid. I mean, I'm still so surprised they didn't even send a single first rounder for CMC. It was like a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth. Like everyone had one of those. Like just get it. Go. I'm so pissed we didn't do that. I'm actually crying right now. Oh man.
Oh my goodness! If you think you'd be a 204 fan, holy crap! Oh man, you'd be a little schoolgirl. All right, man. Let's get into some wide receiver chaos here.
Oh
Really,
yeah.
not much going on, and positional battles are what they are. There wasn't a lot of surprises on the depth chart, but Xavier Gibson is listed as a Jets wide receiver 3. Um, yeah, I mean, this makes me want to go buy him. Any wide receiver is going to be attached to him, and Mike Williams. Look, I've been dogging all off season. Like he can't stay healthy. He's getting older. That's not going to help. And it's just I was out on him to begin with. He's injured yet again. G Willie needs some help, and why not? Who is listed as number 2?
Um. So it goes G. Willie, Mike Williams, but behind Mike Williams is Alan Lazard, but and then number 3 would be Gibson. And behind Gibson is Malachi Corley. If Malachi Corley can have himself a preseason, I'm gonna need him to kick that boy out the way. I am so ready for Corley season, dude. I'm so excited.
I was hoping you were going to say it was Corley with the 2 just because Williams is hurt. Um, this is a Malachi Corley podcast. I mean, we just gush over this guy. Yeah, he's slow. He's got some Debo in him. Um, you you can get Xavier Gibson on waivers. Why wouldn't you put him on your? I mean, you're telling me you don't have a
See what
spot for pot?
happens. And
Yeah,
he was one of my favorite players on Hard Knocks last year. Him and Brownlee just had such like a they had a hey man, we're gonna show up, we're gonna turn up, and we're gonna make sure that we are on this team. And I love that type of stuff. And they both really brought each other up. And Brownlee was kind of the story of last year, but Gibson to see him get his little shine right now as the starter, as the number 3. God, I'm so happy for him, dude. I loved Hard Knocks Jets last year.
you're right.
That might be my favorite. And they did the Rams and the Chargers. They did both. But yeah, just shout out to the Jets.
You're so right because honestly, Gibson was a star of Hard Knocks last year. You're so right. I totally forgot about that. And you know what? Aaron Rodgers got injured, and you had those quarterbacks. But so let me ask you this: Traylon Burks or Xavier Gibson? Who would you rather have on your bench? Because this is the type of decision you're going to stare at on a waiver wire, and I know my answer.
Okay, so here's the thing. It ma- it makes a lot of freaking sense to say Traylon Burks. It really does, but I can't. I'm so much more in love with the offense of the Jets, and plus, he really had to fight his way. I mean, Traylon Burks was a first round pick. He didn't have to do too much fighting. In fact, all he did was get hurt. Xavier Gibson had to fight and claw his way out the pit to become the 3. So, I like that type of dog mentality. So it's Gibson for me.
Not even a question. Burks is gone. He's already gone on all my teams that I had him on. He's just gone. Cedric Tillman versus Xavier Gibson. Tillman, bye. Have a good life. Randall Moore versus Xavier Gibson. Randall Moore, bye. Have a good life. Like,
Ooh.
we don't know what this guy's upside can be. We haven't seen him on a field with a good quarterback. So,
Okay, hold
what are
on.
the potential of
Zay
the unknown
Jones.
versus the crap?
Zay Jones or Xavier Gibson.
Let's talk about that right now. Cardinals depth chart chaos. Michael Wilson is listed as the wide receiver 2. Greg Dortch is listed as the wide receiver 3. And
Wow.
Zay Jones is the backup behind Greg Dortch. So, what do you think about that? Because I will be honest with you. I am very pro Michael Wilson. You know that's been he might be my guy just because of where you can get him, the price you could get him for. But don't discount what Greg Dortch has done for Arizona when he's played. He has been
Oh,
a
true.
volume target.
That's true. I mean, it hurts me because I'm a Zay Jones guy. I loved every chance I got to spot start him in in redraft last year because he really like came through when you needed him, and that's something you don't forget. That's a player you don't forget. You thank him every day. Like, wow, you got me through week 17. I mean, through week 7, bro. I did not think you're gonna do it. Cooper Cup's on a bye or injured, so thank you for filling that role. Like, dude. What? He couldn't beat out Dorsch. That's so unfortunate to me. And he's such a big target too. Like I thought that would be a fantastic thing for Kyler, but uh he didn't work hard enough, I guess. I don't know. We're gonna hopefully I see him in the preseason, dude.
I still think it's going to be Zay. I
Oh, you
really
do? Okay,
do.
God.
All
Thank
my
God.
best ball teams will tell you it's Zay. He's, one of my last picks every single draft. Especially if I have K1, I haven't been drafting Greg Dortch at all. But it would not surprise me if Dortch is here. But pick up one of these guys on the waivers. You know, Greg Dortch is probably there. Maybe Zay Jones isn't. But just or pick them up both. See, wide receiver 3 for that offense is going to be good this year. Like,
Agreed.
take a shot at it. You know.
Yeah, kind of the same way we feel about Gibson. It's like, or Xavier Gibson. It's like good offense. Nothing wrong with having one of the targets on that. So I'm in. Damn, I can't believe it's not Zay Jones, dude.
Yeah. So
Just fell in love with the guy, I guess.
I love Zay, man. I love him. I was so happy when we signed him. Like, that's got to be perfect. I think it's
Yes.
him, but I'm telling you, you guys need to go buy Michael Wilson. He's
Mm,
so cheap. You can get him if you want him, especially if you have K1. But everyone's like, oh, Trey McBride, oh, Marv. You know, Kyler Murray is a dog. If he's got dogs out there that he can throw the football to, he will find them. I promise you he will. The only time Kyler struggles is when he literally has no talented wide receivers out there. And I saw something on Sleeper. This one cracked me up. It was, did you see it? It was catch rate of how or drop pass percentage rate.
I didn't.
Oh, it was nuts. I wish I took the picture on there. But the number one person that has the best drop rate in the NFL is Michael Wilson. He has never dropped a football that's thrown to him. He's 100%. There's some dogs out there that are like 98, 90%. And look, I get Michael Wilson hasn't had 120 targets every single year. But I mean, respect to that as a rookie.
Dude, do you know how disturbed I am right now that he's so like when there's like a true value out there, it shakes you because it doesn't seem real. Oh my God, I'm sitting here talking about Demarcus Robinson. Guys, I mean, what are we actually like? What's the price for Michael Wilson? It cannot be crazy. It's definitely not more than a second. And you know what? I might even just throw the second to get the deal done. Like, I'm really about to act a fool tonight. Like, this is crazy. Wow, I did not know that stat either. Oh my
And
God.
I'm already selling out of next year's 2025 class. That was part of the Debo trade is honestly, I didn't care if it's for the 110, 111, 112 next year. That doesn't matter to me. The Debo mattered to me. Next year's draft class is not looking that good. It's going to be running back heavy, but I'm not getting a stud running back in that class at the 110, 111. So, yeah, if you got some seconds, get him. Put a trade together that he's not a throwing piece per se,
He might
but you
be.
can
He
easily
might
get
be
him.
though. He might
Yeah.
like because I'm really thinking about my Mike Wilson shares. When I was trying to sell them, I couldn't. I really couldn't. So I'm just thinking like, what? I'm excited to buy the guy. I just gotta see the market. I can't wait. Ooh.
All right, next pod we're gonna let you know what we bought him for. I own him in a lot of leagues, but Smitty, I might buy him from you if you own him in a league I'm in. You let me know.
Hey, we'll
Um,
see.
all right, let's get into some running back chaos. This one is just hilarious to me. I just love running back chaos. All right, we're gonna get with Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears are both listed as a Titans RB1. There cannot be two starting positional players as a running back. You have a starter and a backup. So are they going like total like formation? Like are they going two running backs the whole time? There's
Dude,
no way
honestly,
Tony Pollard
maybe.
is Tony Pollard's done. He's
Oh,
done. He's
oh
done,
my
dude.
God. Oh, you're saying don't even bother with Pollard.
No. Who made the call last year, Smitty, to get rid of Pollard all offseason? You saw me do it. He was done. Done. I wanted nothing to do with him. Nothing to
That's
do with him.
that's true. Wow, what a fantastic call too. Because like what he had like okay, he probably had six pretty good games last year, and then he fell off immediately, and now he's on a much crappier team with Tajay Spears. Ugh, you made a great point, bro. I don't know.
I just rather go buy somebody else that's in the same tier that I'll have better faith in. And I'm always looking for those ugly running backs out there. You know me, but I want anybody. I want Gus Edwards over Tony Pollard. I mean, I'm talking
I'm
about
gonna
we're
agree
we're
with
get
that one. Wow, I think I'm totally in for that move.
yeah. I mean, this doesn't. I will have no confidence ever playing Tony Pollard, so he's going to have him on bench, and then it is. But Tajay Spears, man, I might be willing to buy into Tajay Spears here. Like I do believe. Look, he's small. He's got no like ACL or MCL. He's like,
Right.
total Todd Gurley thing, going
Right.
on. He's small, but look at he's the explosive one out of here. Tony Pollard isn't. Maybe he is. I don't know. He didn't look like it last year.
He, I mean, last year he was behind, the king, which makes me realize, oh my God, if something happens to Henry in Baltimore, I don't think I have faith in any of those guys anymore. I think that's actually going to be if an ugly team if he falls. So, oh my God, oh wow,
So here's a tier I'm willing to have above Tony Pollard.
hmm
Damian Pierce. There's
amen.
the cutoff.
Whoa,
There's the cutoff. I would much rather own Damian Pierce than Tony Pollard because I would much rather own Damian Pierce than a lot of running backs that people want over Damian Pierce. I am as pro Damian Pierce as it gets on this podcast, and
dude,
he is nothing. Dirt cheap. Just, I mean, especially if you made your moves 2 months ago. Pick him up on waiver wires. That offense is going to be explosive. And I'm telling you,
I
Joe
got
Mixon is
one share because of you, and I'm cannot wait to just see how that Ryan experiment plays out.
Dude, Sleeper got me so good the other night for the Hall of Fame game where it pulled up an old alert that says Damian Pierce is going to play in tonight's game. And I was like, oh no, oh no, I'm so wrong. I was tripping until I found out it was a joke. I was like, oh, they're resting Damian Pierce because they need him for the season. Sweet. That makes
Hey,
me
we saw
happy.
Cam
All right.
Akers. That was interesting.
Fierce, fierce, fierce running back battle. If you believe in the sleeper hype and the offensive linemen that would say that they want this guy in fantasy football if they played. Zach Moss is listed as the Bengals RB1, while Chase Brown is listed as a 2. Chase Brown's had a good camp from what Sleeper at least has to say. Um, Tell me your thoughts on this one.
You know what? I'm gonna just say this. For our next episode is gonna be an exciting one. You get to learn about who we are really excited for. I think I'm gonna save my thoughts for Chase Brown till then. All I'm gonna say is Zach Moss, hey, get him if you want, but I'd rather have the other guy. And it's really, and I'm gonna okay. Let me make them a point right now. Actually, it's because of Chase Brown's familiarity with the system, and then plus I still in my heart just can't get over the fact that Zach Moss has been a bum for a long time, and that he somehow turned it up last year. Which, congrats to that man. I've had enough. Maybe it was Buffalo. I don't know.
You want to make your first bet of the season? You want to
Ooh,
do a burrito bet?
ooh, let's hear it. Let's hear it first one.
Points per game, Zach Moss is better than Chase Brown.
You got it. You got it. Because I am in on CB. I am
All right,
so
so let's do minimum 10 games. So let's just say players got to play 10 games because if Chase Brown plays
injuries.
two
Yeah,
games points per game, minimum of 10 games, whoever has the most points per game is the winner.
I'm with it. I'm with
All
it.
right. Y'all, what a burrito bet is if I lose this thing, I have to do an entire podcast literally in a costume. It's going to be friggin' horrible if one of us loses this. So, you know what?
It's gonna be
Figure
great.
out who you want to listen to on the pod. Zach Moss versus Chase Brown, but I've got Zach Moss in a lot of places. He just fits the mold of my teams pretty good. But I will tell you, I wish I did have a lot more Chase Brown shares because although I'm planting my flag, we both are on this one. Um, I really just want to make a burrito bet. This could really go either way, Smitty. Like, I mean,
It really could. It really
this
could. I mean, I'm not that much confident because Chase Brown did not do half the stuff Zach Moss did last year, and I will admit that. But I will say I'm excited for CB this year.
all right, this is gonna be fun. We're gonna be going at it all year. All right, man. So Cowboys haven't released an unofficial depth chart yet, but word from camp is that Rico Dowdle is leading the RB room at this moment. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry if Rico Dowdle is actually a thing this year and gets 50% of the touches or 60%. I own him everywhere. I've done
Yeah,
nothing but talk about Rico Dowdle all off season. You were part of the text message when they did not draft a running back. I was through the roof, dude.
Yeah,
Talk to me here, man. Just talk to me.
dude, I gotta say, I mean, it's possible that I take in that I maybe take too much from these hype videos. But what I did see was Ezekiel Elliott going through one of those drills. At the end of it, he was in massive pain. He said, "Oh, dude, that was too much. Oh man." And I'm like, "Oh God."
You hit me in the knee.
Oh, it's like this. Oh, how did this happen? I mean, honestly, like age comes for us all, so I get how it happened, but it was embarrassing to see. It was just as embarrassing as seeing him play center. Like it was. Who filmed that? Honestly, who filmed that and put that on the internet? Because if I was him, I'd get that scrubbed. That you can't see him like literally acting like an old man. Oh, that drill. He was just going through one of those machines, and by the end of it, he just came out beat up. And I'm like,
So
oh, dude, if that's the case, it's Dottle season all day. What is this? I'm not even concerned about him being a backup. There's no handcuff. This is not a handcuff situation. That man is about to. Oh, dude, I don't want to see him get beat up like that. I really don't.
I would have loved Ezekiel Elliott so much more if he played for any other football team other than the Cowboys. Like I would have absolutely loved him. He would annoy me, he's doing this, like, he's just absolutely shredding the Cardinals. But nothing would have done my heart better than if the last play of the Cowboys would have been that play that he got blown up as the center. I I can't believe they almost allowed that to be his last play as a Dallas Cowboy. How
Right.
embarrassing. Got so blown up, dude. So I'm glad he gets his memory back, though, because he's probably going to be a Hall of Fame running back. But man, just go get Rico Dowdle. There's a chance. There's a path. There's a chance. He's not that expensive that you shouldn't go buy him right now. And even if you got to pay up a little bit to possibly have the starting running back of the Dallas Cowboys, it is worth the risk that you have mud on your face. And if
Yeah.
anyone's listening to the podcast, they would already own him a long time ago.
There you go. And then also think about who's behind him. I used to be a big little Deucey Deuce fan, but he's a little Deucey Deuce, man. It's not happening. He's not Big Rico, bro.
So I want to tell you how much this podcast loves Rico. I want to pull up a trade that you did.
Oh,
Royal Rumble, right?
uh, n- no, I think it was League of Champions.
Oh, it was League of Champions. You know it off the top of your head?
The trade,
Th-
yep, I do actually. Oh, all right,
This
ladies. And
one is fuego fire that the league thinks it looks like complete crap. But just wait. These are one of these sneaky trades that you're like, holy crap. The
gentlemen.
sneaky.
I've traded away Chris Olave, that top pick in that draft class from a good wide receiver draft class, by the way. I traded away Chris Olave for Keon Coleman, who's another guy you're gonna hear about me just rave about next week, and Rico Dottle. So a tear down, a tear down. We're gonna see
You're betting on the quarterback in this trade.
a
You're betting on the
100%,
quarterback.
a
And
100%.
the
And
second I
it's
saw this, I was like, I think my text message was boss dog trade. Sometimes you just got to get out there because if you're not first, you're last. And the reality is, you got to take risks to get that title. You got to have a few things go right for you. And if they go wrong, we'll rebuild. It's fantasy football. It is what it is. All right, tight end chaos. Then we'll get into Deadpool. We're out of here. Chig Akagwo, I can never say his name. Chig
you did it
and
though.
Josh Wiley are both listed as the tight ends tight end one.
Yeah, the
Um,
Titans are doing this weird thing where they just think that they don't have to admit anything and just have two players in one position. They
you
did
know,
it with
let
the
me,
running back and they did it with the Titans. And the thing is, they're not even doing like a two tight end set. They're only gonna have one out there. I honestly think they're trying to do some Bengals type stuff, and they just got Chig and this Josh guy listed as a tight end one right now, which is so scary because I have Chig a lot in a lot of places. And then like is this Josh Wally guy is he a sleeper? Is this a joke that they're playing? I don't know. and I cannot wait to see the preseason.
I'm out, dude. I'm out.
You don't like this at all? I
No,
hear
dude,
you.
I'm just out. Like, we got to be in a serious tight end premium league for me to even want to take a chance at either one of these. I mean, Chick has had moments that he's looked good, like not that many. I mean, it's been,
Right.
3 or 4 games here. He's been a bust in a lot of places, but this is like replaceable production. And especially if this is a half point premium, I'm just going to find somebody somewhere else to take a chance on than these guys.
I
Um,
agree with you, honestly.
I'm really out on this Titans offense, aren't I? Except for, yeah, I'm really out on this one.
Dude, and
Oh my
honestly,
goodness.
I mean, they're playing games, dude. Like, I learned who Josh Wiley is today, and I wish I didn't because it just makes things muddier. Yeah, I get it. It's an ugly offense at this point. The ugly Bengals.
I'm out. But I'll tell you an offense I'm starting to get in on here.
Okay.
Raiders. Look, I know I was talking about Devontae Adams. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. But the Raiders will start both Brock Bowers and Michael Meyer. Now, what I love about this, if we go back, I don't know, 3, 4 weeks, maybe 5, I had my little tangent about how the NFL changes and tight ends and go get them. There's going to be more tight ends that matter because you got to have a stud tight end to win. But I talked a lot about the two tight end sets. And this is going to be a thing in the NFL with the way defenses are played, especially how they're running historic zone defenses. Like, this is a call to action to go by Michael Meyer. This guy was a high draft pick. I did not think they drafted Brock to just flat replace him. It was to work with him. Obviously, we want Brock Bowers first and foremost, but this is an opportunity. And I know he's listed as a co-starter, but people are not believing in Michael Mayer right now. They're just not. And these are the type of tight ends you need to go get in those, 0.75, one, tight end premium. Just go get him. Go get him. Um, I'm in love with this news.
You know what? I genuinely like the moment, dude. First off, I just have to hype up the fact that we did a reaction to the 2024 draft. That was such a sick day because you really got to see how we felt about these in real time. And I thought that the Raiders drafting Brock Bowers, I honestly thought that was a flat out replacement. I'm like, weird. So two first rounders on a tight ends, or I guess I don't know if Michael Mayer he was a second rounder actually, but
Mhm.
two high draft picks on tight ends back to back. I hated the idea. I really did. But if they're both gonna be on the field, then F it. It's gonna be like the Ravens, right? Like this is fantastic. I mean, they
It's going to
need
be
the
great.
help on offense.
And if you go back through the history of the NFL, especially last 15 years, as football is what it is today, how many tight ends have produced in year one? I mean, look at it's such an exception to the rule. Why are we hating on somebody because they have to the game is so much different from college to the NFL for the tight end. I mean, just the blocking duties that you have to do is
Hmm.
insanity in the NFL. So don't go get them. Take a shot at them. I don't think it's that expensive and it could really matter. This next piece of news is part of the reason I got rid of this guy today. Daniel Bellinger is listed as the Giants tight end one. Is it Theo Johnson, right? Theo Johnson?
Oh yeah, big boy.
Hard Knocks sold me. I'm in. I'm in. I look at, I know I said people run two tight end sets, but when they traded for Darren Waller last year and Daniel Bellinger had a horrible rookie season the year before, they made it very clear what they really saw there. Like, they got really down on Bellinger. You're not hearing that on Michael Mayer. Like, you're not hearing that out of that organization right now,
Great point.
but you heard that out of Bellinger.
And he's listed as their tight end one. Yeah, I mean, hey, that was a great disclaimer you put at the top of this segment. This is all some goofy BS that they're doing. So,
By the way, are you buying Daniel Jones? Like, I am starting to get like totally down with Daniel Jones as my QB2 in a super flex right now, especially to start 11. I think I'm comfortable there to start 10 if I've got the studs elsewhere. Like, he's having himself a camp, and I'm really good things are coming out of that. And Malik Neighbors, look, I mean, he is the number one out of any of these rookie wide receivers on Sleeper, and it is blowing the world up on how good he is right now. We're not even getting that from Marv, dude. We're getting nothing about
okay, well,
Marv.
oh God, I didn't think you would mention the Maserati's name. I mean, shoot, when you put it like that, that is true. We're not getting like, oh wow. Hey, listen, I'll tell you what I won't do, and that's ever think that Neighbors is better than Marvin. But We are seeing some dog material from this guy. I have to be in. I have to be in on Daniel Jones at
Yes.
this point. I really just
Yes.
have. It's just kind of set up perfectly. Wow, we giving y'all a lot of sleepers during this particular pod. Isn't that crazy?
The lover out there, Chad Lover. I got to give you credit. I watched you draft this man in 14th round, 15th rounds of Stardust because everybody thought they were drafting the QB. He started getting me in on Daniel Jones, and I am fully on board right now.
Dude, shout out to
Um,
Chad Lover. Oh man, yeah,
Vanilla
great.
Vic, baby. We got to get the lover back on here. But let's go over the stupidest news I've heard in a long time. Zach Ertz is listed as Commanders tight end one. Nobody wants Zach Ertz. He can't stay healthy. He's old as hell. He was old. The only no, I'm out. It doesn't even matter to me. Go get the rookie. I already forgot his name, but
Yeah,
that
Senate.
guy
I'm
looks.
such a Senate guy. I just really believe in him, and it honestly, this kind of hurts my soul a little bit. It's like, damn, like is Senate bad? Like, I understand that this doesn't matter, but I look at this and it bothers me. I mean, Ertz is definitely a Philly legend. I mean, let's give him a little bit of respect, but it's falling apart. It's over. It's over.
So the funny thing is about Zach Ertz is he reminds me of Zach Moss. He's like whatever Jason Moore's take on, he's the anti-take because he was so down on him when he went to Arizona and then he balled out. Same with Zach Moss, and it's like just listen to Jason Moore, get on the fantasy footballers. Whatever he says about Zach Ertz, do the opposite. All right, man. We're gonna get at it. Spend 5 minutes or so talking about Deadpool. I
Okay.
saw this movie last Friday. So I've been dealing with some medical things and hips, back problems. I haven't seen a movie in a while at the movie theater. It's the first one in a couple of years.
Oh,
I was like a kid at like recess, bro. This movie is my favorite Deadpool by far. The opening, I had to do the bye bye for it. They always do a cool opening in Deadpool, but this one was by far my favorite. The second one was when they did it in the Deadpool 2, where they did the James Bond like one. You know me and James Bond. Like that was cool with all the crap they wrote on it. But what are your thoughts, man? How'd you like the movie? What are the funny parts? Talk to me about it.
all right.
Get these
Just let
people
me
hyped.
just immediately say this. Let me just immediately let you all know. For those who've seen the film, there is a joke about the way Wolverine looks and how he looks like a Los Angeles Ram. Ladies and gentlemen, I was in unison. My whole theater in unison said, "Whose house?" I'm like, and I was like, "Oh, I thought it was just gonna be me. I thought it was just gonna be me." But I forget that, like, you know, in LA and just like in Southern California, really, not everyone's a Ram fan, and it's cool. I get it. You know, it's a a lot of people come out here from various places, so I see various types of fans. But that was like one of my first like true bonding of Rams fans as we're just sitting here watching this Marvel movie. So I just wanted to get that out the way. I just said I thought that was sick. That was a beautiful moment.
So the second that they said that, Smitty, I immediately my first it went like this. Immediately it was like, Smitty's gonna love this. Oh God, I'm thank God Aaron Donald retired.
dude, dude, that was so great. Oh man, and let me tell you something. Growing up on Wolverine, he's for sure my favorite superhero. So it's great to see him have his just have like we really got the Wolverine that a lot of us have wanted, right? I don't even really know how to put it because they showed so many different versions of Wolverine. So you had to at least have connected with one of these. And the one that we spent the whole movie with, there's something about that main Wolverine. And then Hugh Jackman as an actor surprisingly did such a great job with the dramatic points. Like it just really made me it you said you felt like a kid at recess. I think I felt the same way. I think I felt the exact same way. And it's just this movie was so fun, man. This movie was
it,
so fun.
it was nostalgic. It brought the
It
original
was
costume from
absolutely
Wolverine in there, the
absolutely
bad
nostalgic.
Wolverine. But my favorite was when they were interviewing, when he kept going through all the different multiverses and going to the different Wolverines. Dude, the midget Wolverine, that one, I lost my mind on midget Wolverine. That was, oh gosh, that was absolutely epic.
That really
But
it threw me off. I'm not gonna lie. It really it he looked like a freak. I was like, what is going on? He looked like a circus act. It really threw me off. But this movie really was funny. So did you see this movie with your wife?
I did.
Okay, is your wife the type of person to watch or does she watch these Marvel movies with you? Like you seem like you pretty much follow the whole Marvel thing, right? Does she follow it with you, or she here there sometimes? Like, what's
So she likes the movies, but I have to explain a little bit about some things that go on because she doesn't remember everything. She doesn't like watch them in order, but she does. She likes more like man stuff than I do. Like she's like a Rambo Terminator. Like she
oh
loves like
what?
action packed shooting, killing. Like I'm to the point like I don't want to watch another action movie. But so yeah, I had to explain it to her a little bit, and I had to walk her through Deadpool 2. But Deadpool 2 literally starts off with a little figure of Wolverine dying, and I will tell you, if you haven't seen this movie, I'm sorry we spoiled everything, but the amount of F word said in this one, the way that they just dogged Fox for for basically selling that and the franchise sucking, like there's probably a Fox joke every 10 minutes in this movie. And the way that they talk about a Honda Odyssey in this movie, I never thought we would ever hear the term the Honda Odyssey F's hard. I never thought that we would hear that. So they took things to a whole nother level. But just the little line Brian always says about, what's going to happen next on the two fights, how he sets up the one with Wolverine and him at the beginning was good. But the one he set up with Wolverine and his brother, this is going to be an epic battle and literally done 1 second. Done.
Dude, and that's the type of stuff that makes me realize that he was also making fun of the diehard Marvel fans because it's like he knows that we want to see that stuff. He knows that we are hyped to see Wolverine versus Sabretooth. Oh my god, when I saw Sabretooth, I said, "Oh, it's about to go down." And it really, the fact that it was such a short fight, it was a joke on me. Really, it was a joke on all of us that were excited to see stuff like that. And which I also have to mention this. Um, the Void had a bunch of like rejected Marvel characters from Fox, right? I thought that was so brilliant because my wife was actually recognizing a lot of the cameos from the Fox situation. I'm like, whoa, like you connect with this, and I realized I connect with this too because this whole Marvel Cinematic Universe truly started with Fox. Like I remember just like rewinding Wolverine versus Lady Deathstrike, and Lady Deathstrike was actually in this film. I mean, she did not hold her own. I'm sorry, that was annoying, but she did not hold her own in this film. But it was like, wow, this is like this is what it's all about. Just being a fan of these superhero movies, like just. And it sucks that they in the void because they really had special places in my heart. And I'm not saying like my wife was like a big Electra fan, but she watched that movie the other day, and just to see like her back in 2024 it was kind of crazy. You know,
Yeah.
it's
So my
it's
wife
just
and I had this debate afterwards because I loved it when he apologized to Electra because what's
yeah.
his name? Oh my
Ben
gosh, I just said
Ben Affleck.
Daredevil died.
Yeah.
That was the worst action movie. I hated that. Ben Affleck is the. I hated him as Batman. I hate him as Daredevil. And she's like, "Oh, it was so good. He was so good in Daredevil." I'm like, "What is wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you, girl?"
But
Oh,
that's the
yeah.
thing though, like those movies were so bad, but they meant something to them, and like that's what makes me just really like trip over the whole idea of the void. These characters really meant something to us. And here they are like in a void, like a forgotten, pruned out of the main timeline because they're just Fox rejects. And it's like, oh man. I don't know, this movie really is kind of special.
So in the whole Marvel universe, there's only been two scenes that maybe literally like jump up from my seat.
Uh-huh.
The first was one of the Spider-Mans. There was the multi-universe one where they really brought it into it. And Noir, Spider-Man Noir, voice came out as Nick Cage. I lost it. Nick Cage is like my favorite actor. I lost it. But I will tell you, I jumped out of my seat when Wesley Snipes came in as Blade, dude. I lost it in the void. He made the movie for me just at the end when he's like, there's only one MF in Blade.
And then Deadpool, dude, oh my god, such a good like the way that. And anyways, then Deadpool looks at the camera. He's like, just like he just looks at it like, huh? You don't know. You don't know that man's been replaced, and that film's coming out next year.
Yeah.
That
I
was
think
great.
we got the best Logan, the best Wolverine. I thought it was I loved everything about that movie. They absolute masterpiece. Cheers. Cheers to Disney. I can't believe they let that happen.
Yeah, honestly, and it's a massive success. So they're gonna let it happen for 90 years, apparently.
They need to make all the superhero movies literally R rated. And by the way, we
Oh, that's
finally got duped out for 1 second and heard Captain America say the F word, and then he wasn't Captain America. I was like, oh. All right, man, let's get out of here. Thanks for listening. Smitty, anything you want to say to our listeners on anything before we take off?
hey, the preseason literally this weekend. Let's see how that turns out.
All right, man. As Wade Phillips would say, as Deadpool would say, this pod's about ready to F real hard as we get going. We got the My Dudes episode next week. Let's ride. Cheers, listeners. I can't believe I just ended with fucking let's ride. Oh my God. I always